Hi there viewers, I'm the Extraordinary Tourist and welcome to episode 4 of my video diaries documenting the creation of my artwork, 3 Wise Colour Monkeys. In this particular episode I'm continuing on with painting my base colour layers, and then towards the end I get into start putting in some highlights and giving the characters a bit of form. So without further ado, let's get into that, shall we? So as you can see where I left off last time, I just started putting down the base colours on the characters after completing the background. Here you can see me putting out my colours, ready to start mixing some base colours for the other characters. One thing, actually that was mixing the colour for the tree there, but one thing you'll notice about the way I do my paintings is that all the colours are mixed from the primary colours and black and white. I'm not like other artists, I don't collect paint colours. Don't collect shades of colour or have an entire sort of massive box of paints anywhere. I always stick with the 3 primary colours and black and white, and that is my entire paint kit. Every colour you see on the canvas is mixed from those. And my main reasoning for that is that it's just quite cost efficient. I don't have to go out and buy specific paints for each individual artwork. I don't have tubes of paint sitting around that I've used maybe once or twice for a particular artwork and then never use again. All of my paint gets used, and I sort of buy my colours as needed. So here you can see I've mixed a green for the green monkey there, obviously, and you'll see that I'm not particularly being that careful with applying the paints. I do get a bit careful towards the edge of the character. You see me sort of resting a bit on the canvas there with my hand, just to make sure I don't go outside the edges too much. But actually filling in the colour within the inside of the character, it's still fairly rough in an effort to sort of keep that painterly feel. I'm not particularly interested in getting the colours too flat and even, or getting really great coverage, because I want that underpainting that I did initially to partially show through as well, to help increase that overall painterly look of the final work. You can see here I'm just filling in the red for the middle monkey a lot better than what I did initially in the underpainting. And now I think I'm starting to mix up the yellow to fill in all the yellow on the various monkeys. I think this yellow was actually the final part of laying down my base layers. So you can see there, again being careful around the edges, but not particularly trying to get really even coats in the middle areas of the yellow. Just everything is starting to tighten up around the edges. Also with my brushes and stuff, I tend to favour like chisel head brushes. I do have quite a collection of brushes that have gradually worn down, because I'm very scratchy with applying my paints on the canvas. I tend to press quite a bit and I end up with brushes that are almost worn down to the metal for how long I use them for. You can see here, painting the yellow on the sort of pants of the red monkey was a little bit difficult to work out, because as you saw earlier, these legs were pretty much improvised on the canvas, and they're not the same as what I have in my sketch. So it's sort of, I'm trying to make them look right as I paint it, and at this stage I'm not sure I'm being particularly successful with that. I'm hoping that by the time I get to the finished painting, the legs will at least look halfway reasonable on that red monkey. See there, just filling in the final yellow bits. And then doing the white to the eyes. It's pretty rare that I actually do any white this early in the painting, but because these characters, the whites of the eyes are fairly important, I wanted to get that down as a base colour first, so that I could tighten up around the edges of those when I do the actual shading tones. You can see here I've now mixed some white into my yellow. It's starting to give the yellow areas some form there, putting in the highlights. So this is like the first part of adding on more detailed areas, and again tightening everything up around the edges, and getting the colour to cover a bit more. And there you go, I mixed up a lighter brown and starting to give the tree some form as well. I try to use up as much of the paint on my palette as I go with it, so I tend to mix what I can with the colour. So you saw me using light yellow and then using that same light yellow mixed to a brown for the tree. So that's where I got to pretty much at this stage. I'll continue to mix those colours, and here I just thought I'd show you a side-by-side comparison of where I started and where the painting is currently. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed seeing my artwork get just a little bit closer to being finished. Hopefully by the next diary episode I'll have most of the shading finished, and we'll be getting into the details and final bits and pieces to finish up the painting. There you go, that's the end of another episode. I hope you've enjoyed watching up to this point, and until next time, thanks for watching.